So you want to get rich. If that is the case, which is because you clicked on this video, if you can't focus for the next 10 minutes, 12 minutes, then you might as well just give up before you even start. If you want to go and you want to start scrolling, you want to go on TikTok, you want to watch brain rot, you want to come across some podcast clip where it's like split and the podcast clip is on top and then there's some GTA 5 background gameplay, go ahead. If you want to do all that, then go ahead. But if you actually want to get results, then stay here and watch to the end, because I'm going to be giving you the only 3 things that you need to do in order to get rich. This is the exact blueprint. This is what it takes. And this is not coming from just some random guy living with his mom or something. I've not only made money online, I've made millions of dollars already. I make $1 million per year in profit. And on top of that, I actually don't have anything to tell you. I have all of my free courses right here on YouTube that you can go watch. They're on my YouTube channel. But with all that being said, these are the only 3 things that you need to do if you want to get rich. And this is for if you are anybody. The first principle we're going to cover, the internet has given everybody in the whole world the same textbook, and we're all taking the same test. So what's the difference between the A students, the people who do really well, get successful, and the F students, the failures? It's not the information. It's not the quality of the information. It's simply just who did their homework. Who did the work when it was uncomfortable, when it was boring, when they didn't want to, when they had other things to do. It's mind-boggling that so many people are failing. About 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Most people are failing, and they have the perfect study materials at their fingertips. Everything you've ever needed to know about making money online and getting rich is literally just in your pocket. You have complete access to it. So then all it really comes down to is follow through consistently over time. And I'll give you one really quick actionable way that you can do this. This one small rule is what's made basically everything possible for me. Just to drive this point home a little bit farther, right? I told you that now I've been successful in business. I had no prior experience. And when I say no prior experience to business, making money online, 0 tech skills, to make a living, I was a carpenter. I was cutting up wood and building houses. That's what I was doing. On top of that, was also in the army. Now, some people in the army are really smart. Me, I was in infantry. So what that is basically the people who are on the front lines. They have the guns, they do the assaults, all of that. And then on top of that, I was also a security guard. Now, security guard, that might seem like I might know a thing or two, but the whole security guard requirements was to take a course online. And it was like a 2-day course. And the whole thesis could be boiled down to make sure if anything bad happens, you write it down in your notebook and you tell the real security guards, or you tell the police officers, or you tell somebody who can actually help. So I was vastly underprepared for what the whole world of entrepreneurship had to bring. But with that being said, I was still able to make it and be successful. Why? Because the true determining factor of people getting wealthy is no longer, like I said, knowledge. It's no longer who you know, all these other things. It's literally just who can work the hardest for the longest and sacrifice the most. And that is what I did have experience in. I couldn't go out. I was working like freaking ridiculous hour weeks as a blue collar worker with multiple jobs. It was nuts. 80, 90, 100-hour weeks was the regular, because I didn't want to stay in the place that I was. So here's the implementation principle that I actually used in order to start taking action, because I get it. Everybody knows what they should do, but it's a process of actually doing it that is going to make the changes. So you know what you should do. Instead of saying, I'm going to work out more, I'm going to get more fit, I'm going to get more swole. Instead, you say exactly what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and where you are going to do it. And this gives you so much of a better chance of follow through, which is the most important determining factor of success. Instead of, I'm just going to get more fit, I'm going to go and do 9 sets of bench press tomorrow at 12 noon. That small difference, it doesn't take basically any more effort, but you just start doing things a little bit differently, small things. You implement them into your daily habits, in your daily life, then that is what's going to create the huge amounts of momentum that is needed for success. That's how you start from scratch, because I know how hard it is to just sit there and you know what you should do. You're sitting at your computer and it's almost like an invisible force is pulling you towards your phone, pulling you towards the video game, pulling you towards the fridge so you can go get a snack as some procrastination. I get it. But that perfectly leads me into the next principle, which is that if you want unordinary and extreme results, you're going to have to do some unordinary and extreme things where people are going to think you are weird. You are doing some pretty weird stuff, and I'll give you some examples. I was working a 9-to-5 job. Everybody knows in blue collar, 9 to 5 is not 9 to 5. It's more like 7 to 5 or 6 if it's a long day or behind on work. So that was what would usually happen. Now, the thing with working a 9 to 5 that I realized is that by going to work, doing my 9 to 5, and then doing my side hustle, trying to make money online afterwards was basically impossible. I had 0 mental energy. My back was aching. Bro, I was literally 22. My back and knees were cooked. They were done. They were absolutely done for. So what I would do is I would wake up an hour earlier, do a little bit of work in the very early mornings, outreach to some clients and do a little bit of client work before I go to work. And I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty good. I think I want to do this more. So then I woke up 2 hours earlier. Instead of waking up at 6, I would wake up at 4, then earlier, wake up at 3, then earlier. I would wake up at 2 a.m., go to work, come back, sleep as soon as I got back. And then I would finally do my work again in the morning, every single morning, every single day. And then if I had a day off for whatever reason, straight all 12 hours side hustle work, entrepreneurship journey, every single time. I actually do that to this very day. To give you an idea, right now it's 6:30. You can't really see that on my watch. I've been working. I'm like 3-4 hours deep already. Let me tell you why this works. It's not because this whole thing of, bro, you wake up 4 hours earlier and now I got 4 hours on you, I'm gonna beat you. Or, bro, I have 3 days. Now I have 3 days in a day because I take 3 naps throughout the day. Stack that up over a week and I'm gonna kill you. It's not like that. It's literally just because when you're up super early in the morning, there are no distractions. Nobody's even awake. And sin comes out after 6 p.m. So I'll make sure that I'm in bed at 6 p.m. I wake up at 2 a.m. every single morning. And on top of that, it's not actually easy to go to sleep at 6 p.m. I actually am in bed at 5 p.m. because I go 1 hour with no screens. It's literally broad daylight outside. So what I do is I have a small mattress on the floor in my den in my apartment. So it's pitch black in there and I can actually sleep. And it's funny because when one of my friends came over to the house, I have this like really nice king size bed in my other bedroom, but he came over to my apartment and saw where I was sleeping. He's like, bro, you're living like a homeless person under a bridge. And it's weird, but is that balance is the enemy of extraordinary. Everybody wants to focus on balance, being able to work and play at the same time. But the problem is that balance does not account for momentum. You need to go all in. Do I expect you to sacrifice everything, to not see your friends, to not see your family, to work like freaking 90 hours a week? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. But is it forever? No, just for a temporary time. It could be 6 months. It could be a year. It could be a couple years. To get my business to $1 million a year, and it took me 2 years to get there, to get my business to $1 million per year. From starting, year 1, I'm still a carpenter, on the tools and everything. In year 2, $1 million a year. To get to that point, do you think that I was still watching Netflix, still going out, still enjoying my time? No. I locked myself in my room and I worked consistently. And you know what? I actually still do that to this very day. But the difference is this. Every couple months, I have some time to go off and do something fun. A few months ago, back in February, I actually went with me, my team, all my mentorship students to Funnel Hacking Live out in Vegas. And then a couple months back in April, actually, I went to the Dominican Republic, inclusive resort, for a week of just recharging and relaxation. But that is the key point, is that there are periods of extreme work, then periods of recharge. And look, doing all of this isn't the easiest, but it's all easy when you implement principle number 3, which is understanding this. Your brain makes over 35,000 decisions every single day, and only about 5% of them are conscious and 95% of them are subconscious, meaning you don't actually think of yourself doing them. When I'm talking, I'm not thinking about moving my hands. Now I am because I brought it up, but I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about shaping my mouth in the perfect way to make the sounds to talk. I'm not thinking about beating my heart. I'm not thinking about breathing. When you walk, you're not thinking about which step you're going to take, where you're going to walk. You just do all of these things on autopilot. So imagine if you could program your autopilot to do all of the things that are going to make you rich. Funny thing is that you can actually do that. So that getting rich is really just simple. And when your subconscious is not programmed for success, or when it's just programmed willy-nilly, when it's programmed to scroll on your phone, when it's programmed to watch Netflix or to play video games, you are always going to be fighting an invisible enemy when it comes to reaching your goals and doing the hard work. See, winning in life is the same as winning in chess. You win in chess by having really great positions, by making good principle-based moves. And it's the same with life. If you're able to increase your habits, you're able to wake up early, do a lot of work, and get a lot of work done early on, do a lot of things that you don't want to do, then you're going to have the opportunity. But if I hadn't actually implemented all of those things, then I would never have got there in the first place. To where now I can quit my job. And now I can actually work online consistently and not have to go to work. Imagine what that's like. 0 to 7K per month, telling my job, yo man, 2 weeks left, thanks for everything. And now I can finally spend all of my time on my online business. And I went absolutely hard as hell. And that's why I was able to scale up. Like I said, build that momentum. So how do you actually program your subconscious? Well, you program your subconscious by realizing, one, is that your subconscious is always listening, even when you think that it's not. Even when you're playing Moneybag Yo or some DaBaby in the car, and he's talking about strippers and etc., and you think that it's not listening, it is listening. When you're on Instagram, Instagram is basically, let's be honest, it's like soft core adult websites. And you go on there and you get distracted, that matters. But on the other hand, if you spend all your time, like as you can see right here, reading books, watching videos about success, then what do you think that'll do to you? There's a reason as to why I upload like really, really long free courses on my channel, like 8-hour course, free 4-hour course. I'm coming out with a free 16-hour course, 16 hours. It's literally about to be the death of me. But the reason as to why I do that is because think of it like working out, right? Working out, you need hypertrophy in order to actually get results. So when people are actually working hard to finish a video, they're working hard to focus on something for a longer period of time, they are building up their mental capacity. And it's brainwashing them over time because it is expanding the exposure, the time under tension. So now, if you watch a whole 16-hour video on how you're gonna get rich, imagine the effects that'll have on your brain more than a 5-minute video. If you're actually binge watching constructive content. And here's the crazy thing. People will complain, oh, 16 hours is really long, bro. 8 hours is really long. Brother, like one season of a show, if you break that down into hours, that's like 20 hours plus. That's only one season. If you watch 10 seasons, but you tell me like 8-hour course that you can finish in a weekend, a 16-hour course that you can finish in a weekend is too long, brother, it's as if this life is right for you. Because if the hardest thing you do is watching a video that actually helps you, then how do you expect to grind for the success that you want? And yes, it's going to be a grind. There's not going to be any make money online wealth creation method that's going to be a money glitch where it can be easy as hell. You click a few buttons, and because you click those buttons, you're going to get financially free. People will tell you that that's how it works, but that's not how it works in fact. So you need to program your subconscious mind so that your default action is the right action and leads you towards your desired outcome and not away from it. Now, you've heard me mention the free courses, so I'll actually put them on screen since I've already mentioned them. But if you do these 3 things consistently over time, and they will build the foundation. Now, if you leave these 3 things out, it doesn't matter what business model you're doing, what business idea. You can have the best business idea, business model. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. All that being said, that's it for today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.